Well, I hit that wall, and then went full speed through it. I probably should have seen this coming, but honestly, who plans for something this wild? I'm still kind of processing it, and I'm gonna tell you everything, exactly how it went down, because you're my best friend, and you'll get it. So, it all starts with my ex, Owen. You know Owen. Sweet, a little too quiet, always trying to make everyone happy. The ultimate people pleaser, honestly. He's the type who just bottles everything up until he explodes, and then it's, like, a super boring explosion, not even a fun one. He's the father of my baby, Leo. Yeah, Leo. He's a baby. And that's really where the problem started, because, between us, I was just so over it. You know how it is, right? You have a baby, and suddenly your whole life just stops. No more late nights, no more spontaneous trips, no more just doing whatever you want. It's all feeding schedules and diaper changes and crying. So much crying. And Owen, he was no help. He was always, like, let's be a team, honey. But being a team meant I did all the heavy lifting, and he just existed. He'd come home from his job, you know, the vague office thing he does. I never really paid attention to the details, just that he made enough to cover our shared bills and the apartment rent and the car payment, which was nice, and then he'd just stare at Leo like he was some kind of alien. He'd hold him for 5 minutes, then hand him back to me because he needs his mama. Ugh. Like, thanks, Owen, you're so helpful. I kept telling him, Owen, I need a break. I'm exhausted. And he'd be all, oh, honey, I know. It's hard for both of us. Hard for both of us? I was the one whose body was, like, totally messed up from having the baby, and then I was the one doing all the sleepless nights. He just got to go to work and, like, hang out with adults. It was totally unfair. Sometimes I'd look at him, all rested and calm, and in my head, I'd be like, you stupid man, you have no idea. And his sister, Sarah. Oh my God, Sarah. She's the worst. She's, like, super obsessed with babies. Ever since Leo was born, she was always at our apartment, wanting to hold him, wanting to give advice. Like, oh, Chloe, you should really try this organic formula. Or, are you sure he's getting enough tummy time? Like she knew everything. She doesn't even have kids. It was so annoying. In my head, I'd be calling her a busybody bitch, but on the outside, I'd be all, oh, Sarah, that's such a great idea. I'll totally try that. You have to keep up appearances, right? Especially with his family, because Owen was so sensitive about them. But here's the thing about Sarah. She loved Leo. Like, truly loved him. She was always offering to babysit, saying, just let me know, Chloe, if you need a break. I'd love to have him. And I'd just smile and say, oh, Sarah, you're so sweet, but I couldn't possibly bother you. But I was always thinking, one of these days, you just might get your wish. The breaking point was a couple months ago. Leo was being particularly fussy, like, non-stop crying for 3 days straight. And Owen was just, checked out. Emotionally distant. He'd come home, turn on the TV, and just zone out. I tried to talk to him. Owen, I need you to help me. I'm at my wit's end. And he just grunted. Like, a grunt. That's all I got. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something at his head. He was so useless. He used to be, like, so into me, so attentive. Now he was just, a shell. Burnt out, I guess. He used to try, but he just gave up. And honestly, I was burned out too. More than him. I hadn't slept properly in months. My hair was a mess. I hadn't had a proper spa day in forever. My old clothes didn't fit right. It was a nightmare. I looked at myself in the mirror and just saw a tired, stressed out mom. And I was not okay with that. I was still Chloe, you know? The fun Chloe, the spontaneous Chloe. Not mom. So, that night, after Owen grunted at me and went back to his show, I had a thought. A really wild thought. Sarah had called that morning, asking if she could stop by and drop off some baby clothes she'd gotten at a sale. And she, like always, offered, "If you need anything, Chloe, just ask. I'd be happy to take Leo for an afternoon, give you a break." And in that moment, something just clicked. A split second where everything fell into place. I just thought, what if I don't come back? Like, what if I just left? It sounded insane, I know. But the idea, it just felt so liberating. No more crying. No more diapers. No more Owen being useless. I could be Chloe again. The real Chloe. I woke up the next morning, and the idea was still there, buzzing in my head. Like, a really bad idea, but also, a really, really good one. I called Sarah. My voice was, like, super shaky, like I was totally at my limit. "Sarah," I said, trying to sound desperate, "I know this is a huge ask, but I'm just drowning. I haven't slept, Leo won't stop crying. Could you possibly take him for, like, a few days? Just until I can get myself together?" She was, of course, immediately, like, "Oh, Chloe, of course. You poor thing. I'll be right over. Don't you worry about a thing." See? So predictable. She loves being the savior. In my head, I'm like, "Perfect, you busybody, you want a baby so bad, now you got one." But I kept it sweet. "Oh, Sarah, you're a lifesaver. I don't know what I'd do without you." So, she came over. I had packed a small bag for Leo, just a few outfits, some diapers, his favorite blanket. Made it look like a normal overnight bag. I made sure to look totally disheveled and exhausted. I even managed to squeeze out a few tears when I handed Leo over. thank you so much," I mumbled, like I was barely holding it together. She hugged me, all sympathetic. "Go get some rest, Chloe. Don't even think about him. He'll be fine with Auntie Sarah." And that was it. I watched her walk out the door, Leo in her arms, and a huge wave of, not sadness, but lightness, just washed over me. I felt like I could finally breathe. My apartment, which usually felt so crowded with baby stuff, suddenly felt huge and quiet. Peaceful. I didn't go get rest, though. What I did was, I went to my closet, pulled out a small duffel bag, not a suitcase, too obvious, and started packing. Just my favorite clothes, some cash I'd been squirreling away, my phone, and my laptop. I didn't even bother to write a note. Why would I? Owen would just complain about it anyway. He's always, like, "You're so vague, Chloe. I never know what you're thinking." Ugh. I called a rideshare to the bus station. Yeah, the bus. I needed to be, like, totally off the grid for a bit. No trains, no flights where they check your ID. Just a bus ticket to, like, anywhere far away. I picked a city a few states over, Phoenix. Sounds warm, right? And far. On the bus, I started to think. How was I going to explain this? Owen would freak out. He'd call the cops. Sarah would be distraught. My mind was racing. Then it hit me. A kidnapping. It was, like, the perfect cover. I was kidnapped. I didn't abandon my baby. I was a victim. Who would blame a victim? No one. That's who. I practiced the story in my head. I was walking home from the grocery store, minding my own business. Someone grabbed me, forced me into a van. Hood over my head. Taken to some creepy, unknown place. Kept there for days, maybe weeks. No phone. No way to contact anyone. I would look, like, totally traumatized when I finally escaped. This was brilliant. When I got to Phoenix, I found a cheap motel, just for a few nights. I didn't use my real name, obviously. I paid in cash. I needed to lay low, figure out my next steps. I stayed in that room for, 3 days, just watching TV, eating junk food. It was glorious. No crying. No Owen. Just peace. I even posted a picture of some random palm trees on Facebook, relaxing vibes. Just to throw everyone off. People commented, "Looks great, Chloe. Where are you?" And I just liked the comments, didn't reply. Just making them wonder. Then I knew I had to make my move. I had to escape. I found a public park, one with, a busy area, but also some secluded spots. I roughed myself up a little. Messed up my hair, smudged some dirt on my face, tore my shirt a little. Made myself look, really disheveled. Like I'd been through something. I even scraped my knee a little, just enough to look convincing. I walked up to a woman with a stroller, looking, totally disoriented. "Please," I whispered, my voice hoarse from not talking much and from, faking it. "I need help. I don't know where I am. I think I was kidnapped." The woman's eyes got wide. She immediately pulled out her phone. "Oh my God. Are you okay? I'm calling the police." And that's how it started. The police came. I gave them my name. They asked me a million questions. I stuck to my story. I was walking home after dropping Leo off at Sarah's, which was true. I just never went home. The details of the kidnapping were vague, obviously. "I don't remember much, officer. It was so dark." They put a bag over my head. I think there were 2 of them. A man and a woman, maybe? I made sure to add a woman, just to be inclusive. I just remember the van. It was dark. And then I woke up here. I must have escaped somehow. I just ran. They took me to the hospital. Checked me out. Nothing serious, just some scrapes and bruises, which I had, given myself. I pretended to be too traumatized to say much. I just kept saying, "I just want to go home. I just want my baby." Which, in my head, I meant, I want my life back, without the baby. But they didn't need to know that. Word spread fast. My parents, Owen, Sarah, everyone. They were, beyond relieved. And totally devastated that I'd been through such an awful thing. Owen was on the first flight to Phoenix. He burst into my hospital room, looking all disheveled and teary. "Chloe. Oh my God, Chloe. Are you okay? Where have you been?" He hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. I pretended to be weak. "Owen. I'm so scared." It was awful. I didn't even ask about Leo, which probably would have been a dead giveaway, but Owen was too emotional to notice. He was just so focused on me, his poor traumatized girlfriend. I mean, boyfriend now, ex-boyfriend. He kept calling me his girlfriend. It was annoying. The police were, super involved. They started a full-blown investigation. They wanted details. They wanted to know if I recognized any voices. Did I see anything? And I kept it vague. It was so dark, officer. I was so scared. I just shut down. They had me look at lineups, pictures of vans. I just shook my head. "No, I don't recognize anything." I was good at this. Owen, of course, was all over me. "We're never letting you out of our sight again, Chloe. This is a nightmare." He even wanted me to, stay with him and Leo. Things could go back to normal. And in my head, I'm "No way, buddy. That's the whole point of this." I played the scared card again. "Owen, I need time. I'm not ready. I need to heal." He bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. He's so easy to manipulate. Always was. That's why I stayed with him so long, honestly. He never questioned me. I told him I needed to stay in Phoenix for a bit, get away from where it happened, get some therapy, just recover. He was like, of course, honey. Whatever you need. I'll come visit you. I'll send you money. See? Financial entanglement. He expected to cover my expenses while I kept my own money separate. Perfect. So, I got an apartment in Phoenix, a nicer one this time. Owen was sending me money for recovery and therapy. My parents were sending me money, too. Everyone was so sympathetic. I was posting vague, reflective things on Facebook, like, healing takes time. Grateful for my angels. And people were, like, you're so brave, Chloe. It was great. I was getting so much validation. I still hated having to explain what happened every time, but people were being so nice, it was worth it. Sarah, of course, was still with Leo. And Owen kept insisting I talk to her. She's worried about you, Chloe. And Leo misses his mom. And I'd be like, oh, Owen, I can't right now. It brings back too many memories. I can't see Leo right now. It's just too painful. Weaponized vulnerability. Works every time. He'd sigh, but he'd drop it. In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, no thanks. You guys can deal with him. But here's where things started to go wrong. Sarah, that annoying busybody, she started getting suspicious. She wasn't stupid. She loved Leo, she loved him more than she probably loved Owen, to be honest. And she knew how I was. She'd always see through my public persona. When Owen was around, I was supportive and sweet. When he wasn't, I was, like, totally different. She probably picked up on that. One day, she called me. Not Owen. Sarah. Chloe, she said, her voice super calm, almost too calm. I just have a few questions about that day. You said you walked home from the grocery store. Which one? My heart started pounding. The one on Oak Street, I mumbled. I hadn't even thought about the grocery store. Right, she said, drawing out the word. Because Owen said you told him you didn't go to the grocery store that day, that you just walked straight home after dropping Leo off. Oh. Crap. Selective memory. I forgot which version of the story I told who. I immediately went on the offensive. Sarah, why are you doing this? Are you trying to imply something? I just went through a trauma, and you're grilling me? I'm just trying to understand, Chloe, she said, still annoyingly calm. Because the police called Owen, and they said they reviewed security footage from every store on Oak Street, and there's no footage of you. They also checked your bank statements, and there were no charges from any grocery stores on that day. My stomach dropped. Bank statements? They were checking my bank statements? This was insane. How could they do that? Privacy invader much? That's ridiculous. I sputtered. They can't just do that. My privacy. They can if it's a kidnapping investigation, Chloe, she said, and then her voice hardened. And they also checked the bus station. They have security footage of you buying a bus ticket to Phoenix. All by yourself. The day you disappeared. My mind raced. How did they get that? How could they connect that? Did Owen tell them? Did he betray me? He was supposed to be on my side. I was the victim. That's a lie. I screamed into the phone. You're lying, Sarah. You're just jealous. You always wanted Leo, didn't you? You always wanted to be the perfect aunt. Chloe, she said, her voice full of ice now. I love Leo. I always have. And he deserves to know his mother. But he also deserves to know the truth. The police know. Owen knows. And soon, everyone else will too. You didn't get kidnapped, Chloe. You abandoned your baby. You abandoned your life. And you let everyone believe this horrible lie, making them worry and making them think there's a dangerous person out there. It's disgusting. She hung up. I stood there, phone to my ear, shaking. This was it. This was the end. My entire carefully constructed lie was crumbling. I knew Sarah. She wouldn't keep this quiet. She was going to tell Owen everything. She was going to tell everyone. And she did. The next call I got was from Owen. He sounded like a different person. Not the gentle, accommodating Owen. Not the burnt-out Owen. But an Owen I'd never heard before. Cold. Furious. "Chloe," he said, his voice shaking with rage. "I saw the bus station footage. Sarah sent it to me. And the police confirmed it. You lied. You lied about everything. You abandoned Leo. You put him through this. You put me through this. I had sleepless nights, worried sick about you, thinking you were hurt or worse. And you were just living your best life in Phoenix, on my dime, while my son thought his mother was gone forever. Owen, I can explain. It's not what you think." I tried to use my old tricks, but his voice cut through me. "No, Chloe. There's nothing to explain. You're a monster. You manipulated everyone. My sister, my parents, me, the police, even the community who thought there was some kidnapper out there. You are sick. I'm filing for full custody. And I'm telling everyone what you did." And he did. Owen, the too nice guy, became a force of nature. He went to the local news in Phoenix. He went to the news where we used to live. He had the police reports, the bus station footage, my own inconsistent stories. He laid it all out. He didn't hold back. He spoke with a quiet, devastating anger that was more powerful than any shouting. He cried on camera, talking about how worried he was, how he couldn't sleep, how Leo kept looking for me. It was all a performance, obviously, to make him look good. But it worked. Everyone felt bad for him. The headlines were everywhere. Mother fakes kidnapping to abandon baby. Woman faces charges after deceptive disappearance. Charges? Oh God, charges. The police started calling me again, but this time, they weren't asking me questions to help me. They were asking questions because I was a suspect. My financial accounts were frozen because Owen got, like, an emergency order, saying I was misusing funds he was sending for therapy and recovery. So now I had no money. My parents, who had been so sympathetic, called me, screaming. My mom was crying. My dad was furious. "How could you do this, Chloe? How could you lie about something so horrible? You embarrassed us. You hurt everyone." They told me they were cutting me off. No more money. No more help. They were done. My Facebook, which had been full of sympathetic comments, was now a cesspool of hate. People I knew, people I didn't know, calling me every name in the book. Abuser. Sociopath. Worst mother ever. Rot in hell. My entire online identity, which I'd so carefully cultivated, was completely destroyed. People I used to post relationship highlights with, who thought I was, like, this amazing girlfriend and mom, were now calling me out, sharing the articles, the police statements. It was a complete social collapse. I was getting death threats. I had to delete my entire account. I couldn't get a job. Who would hire someone who faked a kidnapping to abandon their baby? Every interview I went on, they'd Google my name, and then I'd see their faces change. One woman at an interview even said, "We're looking for someone with integrity, Ms. Chloe. I don't think this is the right fit." Oh, really, bitch? You think I care what you think? Now, I'm alone in this apartment in Phoenix, the one Owen was paying for. But he stopped paying. I can barely afford the rent. I can't go back to my old city. Everyone there hates me. I can't go anywhere else, because my name is, like, Googleable. I see pictures of Owen and Leo on Sarah's Facebook sometimes. Leo looks so happy. And Owen. Owen looks, like, free. Like a huge weight has been lifted. He's dating that animal girl, and they're always posting pictures, looking all disgustingly happy. He's completely moved on, with someone genuinely loving, and I'm just, watching from the sidelines, completely isolated. It's all their fault, though. If Owen had just been a better partner, if he had helped more with Leo, I wouldn't have been so desperate. If Sarah wasn't such a busybody, she wouldn't have dug into my business. If the police weren't so intrusive, they never would have found the bus ticket. And the media? They just sensationalized everything. They ruined my life. I don't care anymore, honestly. They can all go to hell. I just wanted a little peace. Is that too much to ask? No one understands what I went through. No one.